I'd like to be all rainbows and sunshine with our astrology forecast for 2025, but that is not the case because we have the fire penalty. And so 2025 for many people is going to bring a lot of challenge. So let's unpack what is going on with this fire penalty. And if this falls in your Bazi Chinese astrology, how can you work with it? So welcome, my name is Lydia. This is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. On this channel, I often like to read the charts of famous people. I think it helps us to better understand our own lives and our own charts. So welcome. If this speaks to you, please subscribe, hit the bell, and like it if you seem to like the video. I don't want you to miss a single video. I've already put out, this is part 3. I've already put out part 1 and 2, and we will continue to unroll many, many videos about how to prepare for the year 2025 and the flying stars for 2025 according to Feng Shui practices and many others that I have planned for you. So again, welcome. Let's get into this. I also wanted to let you know that next week, I will be putting out video about specific celebrities that I think are really going to be impacted by this fire penalty. And, you know, it's kind of like we really saw this playing out in 2024 with people that were born with either the dragon or the dog in their charts and how they were impacted. This is very, very different. This is a challenge that I am really glad I don't have in my Bazi astrology, because the fire penalty is the snake, the tiger, and the monkey. And they each begin a season: spring, summer, autumn, and then winter is the pig. Winter, the pig is the one that brings a full square and saves the penalty, except in this year, it doesn't, because the pig is the enemy of the snake. So you can have a semi, which is like, because the snake is in the center of this trio, because we have the tiger, the snake, and the monkey. So the snake coming in, for some people, you might have a tiger and a monkey in your chart, and they're in opposition. That's yang metal and yang wood. And the snake coming in forms this trio, right? Maybe you only have one. Maybe you have tiger, and then the snake comes in, and you have the semi-trio. Or maybe you have the monkey, and the snake comes in, and you have a semi-trio. This penalty is also referred to as the penalty of ingratitude. And it's not uncommon for people with this signature to have a lot of anxiety, panic attacks, feeling lost. So when we're lost, okay, when we're feeling lost, what happens? When we're feeling lost, we tend to go looking for somewhere where we can belong. And that can kind of cast you adrift in the world, right? And that's where you see people getting associated when they're young with gangs or, you know, a tough group of kids. As we get older, it can be getting involved in cults or organizations that look at first like something like it could be supportive, and then it turns around. That happened to me. I was strongly affiliated with Satchidananda Ashram Yogaville for a long, long time. And during the COVID pandemic years, it all came out that Swami Satchidananda had been a sexual predator in the 70s and even into the 80s. And a place that had been my spiritual home for 2 decades suddenly was no longer there for me, because I could no longer associate with a place like that but we wind up with what is called false belonging. In your hunger and thirst to feel like you can put roots down somewhere, you wind up finding yourself in a place that you actually don't belong. And that in of itself brings its teachings and its lessons. I would not give up any of the time I had there, and the experiences, the spiritual awakenings, the divine information that was brought to me in those years, because I was lost, right? And in the finding of myself, I was able to see the truth. Interesting. All right. And along with that of false belonging, we tend to make bad business deals and bad business decisions and investments because we think this is the magic bullet, right? This is going to answer my my problems, my issues. So the pig is the equalizer, like I said, and so the pig brings the tension in that trio. It eases it, right? And it's often said not to have 3 kids, you should have 4. Keep it an even number. I can speak to that one. Yeah. So, but the pig, elementally, the pig is yang water, the snake is yang fire. And so they're opposing. And their direction, southeast 3 for the snake, right on the edge, very close to south, and the northwest 3, which is metal, very close to the north. And so they sit opposite each other on the compass on the Bagua. And so if you're born in the day or the year of the pig, this comes out as a very steamy situation for you. Depending on the strength of elements in a Bazi chart, this can benefit you or cause issues. The pig and the snake can also be in a working or transforming relationship when the monkey or the tiger comes in. And remember that each month represents one of the Chinese horoscope animals. February is the tiger. So we know right away that the start of 2025 is going to have a semi-fire penalty impacting the collective in this world. And if you have this in your own chart, it will feel even more amplified. In May, the month of the snake, the whole year will be amplified, just like we saw with the dragon in April, right? In this year. So May, your forecast, my forecast, everyone's astrology is going to be amplified ×2. And you will be able to see by measure a good bit of what your year is about in the month of May. August is the month of the monkey. That is also going to be super interesting because the snake and the monkey, that's yang fire, yang metal. And I've talked before about that exchange of elements collectively in the world. I often see as explosions and war, like the detonating of a bomb or the shooting of a pistol. But because it's all yang, I would imagine it's going to be rather large scale. Going further with this, the Tai Shui or Grand Duke Jupiter is where the snake holds reign in 2025. And it's sitting at the degrees on the Bagua of 142.6 to 157.5, otherwise known as Southeast 3. I mentioned this in video number 2, part 2, that there are 3 parts to each direction, 1, 2, 3. And 2 is always your due north, due south, due east, due west, etc. So those born in the year or the day of the snake are said to be experiencing their Ben Ming Yang when there is a heightened issue surrounding finances, a decline in fortune, gossip that is defamatory, and the urgency is great to simplify spending and not make any major purchases or changes in your investment portfolio. And I'm going to, as we get through this video, I want to mention along the way what you do. I don't want you sitting there going into a panic because this is your astrology. There is always a way to work with us. So bear with me as you gather this information, remembering that information is power. And it's one of the reasons I love knowing about my astrology, both Western and Bazi Eastern astrology, because it helps me to understand how to navigate my life. Okay. The pig is offending the Tai Shui in a clash of Feng Tai Shui, sitting opposite Northwest 3. This is the degree 322 to 337.5 on the compass. I am reading, sort of, following along my blog. I'll put a link to the Karma Chameleon website where you can see all the blogs that I've written about 2025. Sometimes it's easier to read it after listening to a video. Okay, so it's a poor year for business success and making any gains financially for my piggy friends, I'm sorry to say. There's unexpected misfortune foretold, health issues that may involve a psychiatric crisis. This is a year to amp up self-care, seek medical advice and help as you need it. Don't wait. Take care of yourself. Adopt a healthier lifestyle and avoid confrontation. Go on a yoga retreat. Come over to Open Sky. The tiger will find themselves alone and adrift with little support. And just to reference back, I've mentioned in other videos, I host small group women's yoga retreats out of my home. That's something else that I do for a living. So the tiger, adrift and alone, not getting much support. And think about this. And again, this is all, so much of this is elemental. So the tiger is yang wood and the snake is yang fire. What is that asking of the tiger this year? Okay, so elementally, that yang wood of the tiger is being utilized, put to use to support the fire of the snake. And so it's a draining influence, like a parent having to give, constant giving to their child. It's a tiring situation, a weakening situation. And that's where it's like you're alone. It's like a single parent just giving and giving to this fiery snake that wants all your wood. And the tiger is in a harming position to the snake, weakening the wood element, which, again, if you have a ton of wood in your chart and it's to your detriment, that could be a good signature. Sometimes what looks like bad astrology actually is working in your favor. So this is another reason to get your Bazi Astrology read before the new year begins so that you are aligned and ready. Now, all that being said, you will see links below for you to get either just a 2025 update specific to your birthday and time with month-by-month predictions, or you can get a full written chart that comes with that. And there's another option, which is a sit-down hour Zoom visit with me where I orally share with you your Bazi chart, and we may talk about 2025. Just so that you know you've got options. But it's so much fun to know this information going in. The monkey is the year breaker. This is Yang fire working with Yang fire working with Yang metal. And again, that really feels explosive, and it can bring fighting, it can bring breakups, divorce, some sneaky behavior out of those monkeys. And the caution here is around your relationships and who you can trust. So be really careful in your relationships to avoid those pitfalls of gossip and aggression. Rather, align yourself with your higher self through acting with compassion and kindness, allowance, acceptance. This person is difficult. Accept it. Either work with it or find someone else to be in relationship with, no matter where that relationship falls. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, my friends, as a beautiful Mary Oliver poem says, at the end of the day, the only one you can save is yourself. When we're in relationships, whether it's working or personal, family, friends, if somebody does not make your heart sing, if somebody is just a constant belittling, oppressive, negative influence in your life, why are they still there? What can you do to change the situation? All right, so we're coming to the end of this little reading. And with the monkey, you want to avoid winding up in places of stagnation with a little forward movement. There is a 4-element cross from the Feng Shui Mall, which I am affiliated with, and I will put a link to that below. It is said to be the best remedy cure for the fire penalty. I love their cures, the things that they sell, very high quality, not just cheap stuff made in China, you know? So I'm having my cup of coffee with you this morning, and it has gone cold again. It's like, how many times do you warm up that cup of coffee before you finally drink it all? Anyway, I think what we're seeing right now is such, as we go into this new year, it is a time of adjustment. And you know, when you see a year coming in like this, and I said this in another video, this is a baptism by fire, literally, because the snake is fire, and it is big fire. I think that when you look back to 2013, 12 years ago, the last year of the snake, was one of the most transformative years of my life. Heartbreak, just so intense of a year. And in order to accept the change that is coming collectively in our world and in our own individual selves, it really requires that we take a step back and just hit pause. My prayer for you is that in the coming weeks, as we get through the holiday season and into January, where we're ending the year and we're in that transition space of January, ending one year, about to start a new one, my prayer for you, friend, is that you have the time to take however long you can take that break to assess your life. Get a journal and a pen and some solitude. Sit out in nature somewhere, even if it's cold, bundle up, and really assess your life. Where am I? Because as we move into this year, it is going to demand that we innovate, that we shapeshift, that we change. And if it isn't happening for us, that we are accepting of the changes happening in our world and are part of an active participant in how our world shapeshifts and how our world is changing, how we're protesting, how we're demanding justice, how we're rising up. And I look at change and I look at this coming year, not with fear, but rather wonder and curiosity, open, but still cautious. Kind of like you extend your hand out to meet someone that you don't know, but you also at the same time know that you have the energy within yourself that as you're extending your hand, you can very quickly step backwards. Meaning that if you realize it's not safe, that this person you're welcoming into your life by shaking their hand and saying hi and introducing yourself, if that does not feel safe, that you still have the agency to step back and drop your hand. Okay? And like I say to the women that have been here, retreating here, no apologies. Stop apologizing for why you are who you are. You are who you are. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So anyway, I hope all of this lands well for you. If you have questions or comments, please keep it all kind and respectful, the happy things in life, the things that we want to see in life. Radiate that. Get out and volunteer this year. Do charity. Get into a soup kitchen or volunteer for something really cool and be a part of the change. And let's make it all collectively, together in community, something really progressive and transformative. Because why not? Why not? So until next time, be well.